Welcome to the Secret Sauce, which is Texas de Peru's secret sauce about life lessons and best practices. And you know what, George, I hate that. I'm going to start that anyway. Hello and welcome. I'm Kevin Briggs.
Take 102.
Texas de Peru's secret sauce. And for those of you who don't know Texas de Peru, we send teams of surgeons down to Peru to help pour and deliver surgery for folks who otherwise wouldn't get it. We change a number of lives, and we help a lot of people, and we have a lot of fun doing it. And I help lead that organization, and I'll talk more about it later if folks are interested in getting involved with us. I tell you, one of the things that I've always admired with you, I know we've been involved in the HFMA forever, but you are one of the things that I always advise folks: if you're going to be in a business, if you're going to be in an area, you need to really be a citizen of the community. And you, my goodness, you are absolutely a citizen of the community. You know, you've been a servant leader at HFMA for years and years and years and years and years. For those folks who don't know, HFMA is the Healthcare Finance Managers Association. It deals with all things finance and revenue cycle for healthcare. And that's where professionals go to basically make sure that they become and remain good professionals in that line of work. But George, I think you've been a heck of an example in that space, being a true citizen of that community.
Well, I certainly thank you. Yeah, it's definitely been a blessing. And Philip McCullough is the one that reached out to me to begin with, who we both know. George, you seem to have a large network. I need a membership chair. Will you do it? So that started, I believe that was 2013. And lo and behold, here I am doing the same thing for Chris Cuban, who's the president this year. But yes, I've been very fortunate that HFMA has been a big part of my career. What it's done, especially in my current role as a regional executive for business development, is expand my network. So somebody reminded me, George, I haven't seen as many people that you have on LinkedIn. I said, well, I don't know them all, so I'm just accepting here and there, but I've definitely been very fortunate. And the good thing about HFMA, for those that don't know, is besides the network is a very big part of it, because we're all facing challenges, and it's the network that allows you to reach out and solve those problems, because somebody's has to have done it, been there, that kind of thing. I think the other is, if you're young and you're trying to get into management, this allows you to take a leadership role without getting fired, so to speak, because it's a volunteer role.
Yeah. You know, and you mentioned Philip McCullough a second. I just feel I got to mention one of the leadership lessons that guy taught me. He has a gift for when he engages with you, he truly wants you to be successful, or at least he makes you feel like you truly want to be successful. And I think that's really true. To be perfectly fair, Texas de Peru wouldn't have happened if he wasn't on board and a part of the team. We had a lot of good people on that. Initially the initial founders, Chris Joyner, Tammy Walsh, and Philip. I'm just so blessed that they latched onto a wild idea and helped me make it real.
Oh gosh, yeah. Amazing how many people that year. I think Tammy was also tapped on the shoulder that year, Tammy Walsh. And I know there was at least one or two others. So I definitely agree with you.
Yeah, and Christian O'Connor was instrumental as well.
Yep.
It's so funny. This conversation has reminded me of several different leadership and life lessons. One, be a citizen of your community. Two, use your network, because if not the first person can't help you, the second person certainly will. Third, invite people onto your vision, because you by yourself is good, but inviting people on board can make something great. Any rate, so shifting gears for just a second. For me, Texas de Peru is all about passion projects, and I really believe that passion projects really are rocket fuel for our lives and our careers. Can you share with me one of yours or two of yours that you're passionate about?
Well, obviously, why don't you just mention HFMA? And I think what drew me to that is that the Lord's blessed me with the large network that I mentioned. But the other part is, as I think back to my career and people that mentored me, I think
Yeah.
it's very important that the intellectual capital that we pick up along the way, that we're able to share, because otherwise, I mean, you're starting from ground zero. If you can
Yeah.
help a professional to expedite that intellectual capital. They're they're more productive, and reaching out. It comes down to, and I think all the people that you interview on this particular program have that servant heart. So, for example, when
Yeah.
I'm looking for leaders when I was in management, is I look for number one people that have servant hearts,
Hmm.
because if you can get somebody there, then it's easy to do the training and all the other things that come along with it to make them successful and the team successful for that part.
Yeah. You said a lot there. One thing that I've noticed, I have a friend once upon a time that said, I don't ever share my secret sauce. And I was kind of thinking of him when we named this podcast. And I thought, well, that's kind of a lonely way to go through life. Um, but I found that when we can share our secret sauce, if you will, our knowledge, our lessons, it only magnifies. Um, and helping somebody else out, it it's never a quid pro quo, but it always pays back, almost always. At least it has in my experience. So let me ask you this: we've been talking about secret sauce here. Um, if you had to advise your younger self, or you had advice for a young person beginning their career, what might that be?
I would say, and we were just talking about that just seconds ago, is find a mentor, whether it's a formal or informal mentor, whatever your passion is, find somebody that has the same passion as you do
Hmm.
and the same focus, the same dreams, and latch on to that person. It may be multiple mentors, but find at least one that can help you out along the way. And those of us that have been there, done that, most of us want to help.
Yep.
And healthcare is so important to all of us. We all need healthcare at some point in our career. So whether it's on the clinical side or the business side, there are mentors out there.
Yeah. You know, I couldn't agree more with you on that point of view. I personally, sometimes they know it and sometimes they don't, but I have a lot of mentors. And it doesn't always have to necessarily be somebody who's old, gray, and wise. I have people that are much younger than me that help me get better, and I learn quite a bit from as well. So,
Likewise.
man, George, this has been fun. I'm so glad we got to catch up a little bit on this, and I'm looking forward to sharing this episode with everybody. Why don't I close this out for just a second? So for those of you who are interested in learning more and learning more about Texas Day Peru, so we take teams of surgeons down. So we need, of course, surgeons. Gynecologists, orthopedic surgeons. Uh, we're recruiting those actively and building out teams for 2026. We also need CRNAs. We need anesthesiologists. We need nurses. But we also need non-clinical people. If you can hug somebody and carry a 50-pound box, we can use you. Um, and I'll also say there is not a right time. There's not a right qualification. There's no perfect time or qualification. And if you're thinking about, hey, I would be interested in helping some folks out down in Peru and learning about that culture, um, that you probably think about a dozen different reasons not to, and they're all very valid reasons. Don't listen to those. Just pick up, come out to our website, go to this little linky here, um, and be happy to talk to you and happy to see if we can find a place for you to help. Anyway, George, thank you so much again. I really appreciate you doing this with me.
Well, it's been such a pleasure, and thanks for thinking of me, Kevin. And